Context: I am 30, have been with my girlfriend Lily, F28, not her real name, for just over 2 years. She's more reserved and doesn't express her feelings easily. Right now, I'm the one working and covering most of our expenses. We get along well, but she can be frustrating sometimes. For example, she won't do chores because she's afraid she'll do them wrong, but still finds time to clean up her own things. She also refuses to cook for both of us but cooks for herself and clearly knows what she's doing. It's annoying, but we're trying to work on it. Now to the bigger issue is I've been saving for a house since 2016 and finally found the one I want. When I told Lily, she got upset. She said I should wait until we're married or put her name on the deed. I said no. I've worked too hard to make this happen. She said it felt like I was leaving her out and that it created a power imbalance. She gave me 2 choices: wait until marriage to buy it or add her to the title. I refused and told her to drop it. She did for a while. Then at a dinner with her family, she brought it up again, saying she felt like she had no say in our future and couldn't accept being left out. I lost my patience and said, "You feel like you don't contribute because you actually don't. Maybe start by getting a job and contributing financially." Everyone went quiet. She walked out, and her mom later told me Lily was overwhelmed and needed space. Her mom also said I was being controlling and even hinted it was financial abuse. Now Lily wants to talk again and probably expects me to change my mind. Comment 1: what exactly does she contribute to the relationship? No money, no chores? Then she brings her family into your finances. I wouldn't care if she was contributing 50-50 to your living expenses. Don't ever put another person's name on a title unless you are legally married or there is a legally binding written agreement. Courts are not designed to separate finances and assets outside of divorce or business dissolution. Comment 2. So she doesn't want to work, she doesn't want to take care of the house, she doesn't want you buying things with your own money, and wants the perks of owning a home without the work and effort it takes to buy it and or take care of it. What exactly is she bringing to this relationship at all? It doesn't even sound like she brings any emotional stability to this guy, considering she just shuts down or leaves when she doesn't like him expressing/showing her his true feelings on a subject. NTA, Story 2, showing up to my friend's cosplay-themed 30th as Phoebe Buffet. My friend Rachel's 30th birthday was this past weekend. Obviously not her real name, haha, we've been friends since college and work in the same industry, a boring one, lol, so we stayed close. I helped with some of the logistics but was not a host or anything. Rachel has always been into fandom stuff, always has shows she's watching, fanfiction she's writing or reading, fan theories and fan projects. I am not much of a fandom person. When I watch shows, I don't get very invested or engage with fan theories. I also don't tend to like shows where there's a big fan following. From what I can tell, it's mostly stuff that's like fantasy, science fiction, or paranormal that happens. Forums for shows I like tend to all be "this character is over hater" or "X is a bad person." The closest I've come to anything like that is watching a few episodes of Star Trek with my dad as a kid. I usually like real-life dramas or fun light-hearted shows like Sex and the City or Friends. I know the cool thing these days is to make a big show about how you don't find Friends funny, and truthfully I haven't seen an episode of it in years, it's just an example. For her birthday she asked everyone to show up in cosplay from your favorite series. I will say most of our social group is similar to her in that they like this sort of thing. I'm one of the few odd ducks out. I tried to think of something I could dress up as. I saw some TikTok of a girl showing off her Phoebe Buffet-inspired outfits, and I had a few similar things in my closet, so I went with that. When I showed up, Rachel greeted me and then asked me what I was dressed as because she didn't recognize it. I told her. She didn't know the name, I explained, and she made a funny face and said, "I guess that kind of counts." I didn't think about it again until later in the evening when Rachel was talking to everyone and thanked them for coming and saying she'd had fun talking about the cosplay costumes with everyone and how everyone did such a good job, except Jessica. But it's okay, you definitely might have tried. It's not like everyone laughed or anything, but it was so awkward. I ended up leaving a little while later because it just felt off. A couple of days later, Rachel and I were texting and she said, "BTW, next time I'll help you pick so you aren't embarrassed." I feel like she's implying that I should be embarrassed. Comment 1. At 30, one would think she would be over her mean girl impulses. You aren't into cosplay as much as she is. You picked what interested you. You didn't know your selection had to meet her approval. I would have declined her offer and probably any future invites when costumes were required. NTA. Comment 2. You're NTA, but it does sound like you did what is called Disney bounding. You took the main points of the character and made an outfit. Friends has a huge fandom and often Disney founders those characters. Your friend sounds like one of those elitist cosplayers. They are always the worst to be around. Story 3, telling my homeless brother he can't shower at my house anymore? Look, I know how this sounds. I sound like the absolute villain here. My brother, 35M, has been going through a rough time, lost his job, his apartment, and he's been living out of his car for the past couple of months. I, 29F, let him use my place a few times a week to shower, clean up, and do laundry. I even gave him some food to take with him when I could. The issue is that every time he came over, he'd leave the bathroom a mess, soaked towels on the floor, hair all over the sink, sometimes even toothpaste splattered on the mirror. I asked him nicely multiple times to clean up after himself, and he'd always say, "Yeah, sorry, just tired," and nothing would change. Then last week, I came home to find out he'd invited 2 of his buddies over while I was at work, and they were all chilling in my living room, smoking, blasting music, and one of them used my razor to shave his face. I snapped. I told him he'd completely disrespected my space and that until he could follow some basic rules, he couldn't come over anymore, not even to shower. Now my mom's blowing up my phone saying I'm heartless and that he's family and this is just temporary. My friends are split, some say I should have more compassion, others say I did the right thing. Comment 1, NTA. The messy bathroom is one thing. It's super disrespectful and shows zero gratitude. But could also be part of a depressive episode. But bringing strangers into your home while you are gone without your consent crosses the line and could put you in danger. Also, I feel there may be more to this story about his behavior that makes me wonder if your mom is enabling him. Comment 2. Yeah, it's the inviting others over without permission part that definitely crosses the line. I could handle cleaning up the bathroom, but strangers in my house is a deal breaker. Story 4, walking out of my parents' anniversary party when my brother announced his engagement to my ex. I just discovered my brother, 29M, has secretly been seeing my college ex-girlfriend, 32, over the past year. We broke up 8 years ago and we'd been going out 4 years prior to the split, but we actually knew each other very seriously when we'd been together. I challenged him when I discovered this and he said he didn't say anything to me BC he didn't want me to get angry with him. Last weekend we celebrated my parents' 40th anniversary celebration. My brother brought her to the party as his guest without letting me know beforehand. Her arrival with my brother left me shocked since we broke up and I hadn't laid eyes on her since then. During the meal, they declared their engagement and my mom began crying tears of joy. I couldn't take it and left. My brother trailed behind me and we got in a big fight. I told him he should have warned me at the very least. He said I was being self-centered and spoiling our parents' party. That evening my dad phoned me telling me I humiliated the family by leaving. I don't have romantic feelings towards my ex anymore, but the surprise reveal and secrecy at my parents' celebration feel thoughtless. Comment 1. I feel where you're coming from. This is so inappropriate that it's just gross. The fact that nobody was surprised means everybody already knew. That is something to be angry about, because it suggests nobody seemed to expect that this could have an impact on you. However, it was an evening for your parents and you could have sucked it up to give them their night. While I'm thinking about it, your brother expected you to keep quit, because it was your parents' night. Did he plan it this night just to prevent a scene? Comment 2. How is your brother dating someone for a year and you don't even know? Seems intentional, or you have a shit relationship with your brother. Likely both. Extra, demanding my unemployed roommate pay me back after seeing her buy a MacBook. So my 34F roommate, 32F, and I have been living together for 2 years now. We split rent 50-50 even though my room is slightly larger, but I cook more so it evens out. She lost her job last month and asked if I could pay her share of the rent until she gets a new job. I said yes since we are a friend and times are hard. Fast forward to yesterday. I come home from work and see her unpacking a brand new MacBook, $2,000 plus, and some clothes. I asked her where she got the money to buy this when she doesn't have a job, and she became defensive and told me her parents sent her money for her birthday. I informed her that if she can afford luxury products, she should repay me the rent I paid immediately. She claimed the money from her parents is a gift exclusively for those products and that I volunteered without any conditions. I reminded her I am not rich either and I missed a weekend getaway with my friends in order to pay her rent. She began crying and told me that I am being materialistic and do not understand her problem. I discovered this morning I received half the rent money in an envelope with a message stating she'd pay the other half when she can but won't speak to me much anymore. I don't feel I'm being unfair in demanding my money when she's spending money on non-necessities, but perhaps I should have been more compassionate?